Hello students, welcome to Accounting 1329, Payroll and Business Tax Accounting. This is Dr. Mercado speaking. This particular lecture deals with Chapter 1, the need for payroll and personnel records, and we are using the 2023 edition. Okay, now for payroll accounting, every year a new textbook is released because of the different changes in tax, in payroll and tax laws. So we have to constantly be updating our content. Okay, so a new edition is released every year. There are changes to it. You do need to use the current edition. Okay, so for my spring, summer, and fall 2023, we will be using the Payroll Accounting 2023 edition. Okay, it is a requirement that you do purchase Cengage Access. With your Cengage Access, you will have access to the Cengage Now platform as well as the most current ebook. Okay, now this lecture is intended basically to provide an overview of what you are going to be expecting to see during my weekly lectures. Like you know, my courses are asynchronous. You can log into my courses as you need to during the specified weeks, and I provide you all of the resources and assignments that need to be completed for that week. Okay, so every week I will try to have videos uploaded for you. Now these videos are more problem solving based. That way I can help you solve specific problems that you will be encountering in your homework and in your exams. Okay. For Chapter 1, there is really no problem solving. Chapter 1, I'm going to leave it up to you to just go ahead and read. Chapter 1 goes over a variety of things. The objectives for Chapter 1 are to identify the various laws that affect employers in their payroll operations, to examine the record-keeping requirements of such laws, to describe the employment procedures generally followed in the Human Resources Department, to identify the various personnel records used by businesses and the type of information shown on each form, and to identify the payroll register and the employee's earnings record. Okay, so this particular chapter goes over a lot of different laws. It's just very informative. I'm going to go ahead and let you read all of that information. I don't expect you to memorize it, but do become familiar with the content. Do know, you know what, I've read about this. I know that there's a law applicable to it. So make sure that you read the chapter in full before you complete your assignments. Okay, you will not have any per se problems from this chapter because it's more terminology based, more law based. It goes over the payroll accounting system, how it works, the general expectations, or what happens when the human resources department goes through the hiring process. The paychecks, a lot of companies are small and they don't have an in-house human resources department, so they outsource the payroll or other duties. So it's just a very informative chapter. So I really don't have any problems to go over with you. So because I don't have problems to go over with you, I thought it was a wonderful idea to use this time to kind of like set the stage of what is it that you're going to be doing in the upcoming chapters. Okay, so I do want to provide you with just some general information in this lecture. For Chapter 1, make sure that you read. You will have a homework assignment and a quiz related to Chapter 1, but there are fill in the blanks, multiple choice, true false kind of questions because it's just information that is being presented kind of like to set the tone to what's coming in Chapter 2. In Chapter 2, we begin computing wages and salaries. That is where the actual problem solving begins to take place. Okay, so what are we going to do every week, Dr. Mercado? Well, every week, the first thing that we're going to do is read the chapter. Now, reading is not optional. Okay, if you don't read, you're not going to do well in my class. The chapters are not very long. I would say it could take you maybe 30 to 45 minutes to read the chapter. It's a very good time investment because it's going to allow you, by reading, it's going to allow you to expose you to the content in the chapter. That way you can become familiar and apply the problems that you're going to be having for homework. Okay? Carefully review the examples provided within the text. I love this book because it only has 6 chapters of actual content. Okay? And we cover most of those chapters with the exception of chapter 1. We cover all chapters 2 through 6. We cover them for 2 weeks. So we have more than enough time to practice these problems, okay? So you're going to have a lot of hands-on practice, okay? You do not learn accounting by me, coming here and lecturing you about it for 2 or 3 hours. What's going to happen? I'm going to bore you to death and you're going to go to sleep and you're going to turn me off, okay? You're going to say, well, I can read, or, I don't have to listen to all of this. It's common sense kind of a thing. Okay, you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't like to speak hours and hours and hours because you are thinking about it. You all can read. So you read. Look at the examples provided in your book. They provide you awesome examples that you can use as a guide to complete your assignments. Okay. In Blackboard, I provide you with PowerPoints. Okay. The PowerPoints provide you kind of like with a summary of the chapter, key information. Use those PowerPoints to review, to take notes as you're reading or as you're problem solving or as you're completing your quizzes, whatever it is. Use that as a tool. Now, I will be uploading lectures into Blackboard. Please listen to those lectures, okay? You don't know how many times I've gotten phone calls or emails about students asking me on a specific problem, okay? Miss, I'm completely lost on how to solve problem 2-9. I'm like, okay, can you help me? And to me, it's like, okay, you haven't even taken the time to go into Blackboard, because if you would have noticed that I have a video on how to solve problem 2-9 posted on it, okay? So please make sure that you review all of the resources. I will not be covering every single problem in your homework. No, I will not. But I will try to cover the problems that are more difficult or the problems that don't have a video included in Cengage. The problems that I feel students are going to struggle with, I tend to highlight or select a couple of those problems and include them there. If a problem has a video in Cengage, I don't want to kind of duplicate it. So if the video is included, well, awesome. Okay, but there's some problems that don't have videos. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to explain it in my own words. That way students have additional resources for those problems. Please take the time to view everything that is posted on your weekly module in Blackboard. Okay? After you're done reading, reviewing your PowerPoints, reviewing my lectures, then you can begin working on your assignments. Okay? From a student's perspective, this is what I recommend. I recommend that you complete your quiz first. Your quiz is timed. You have a certain amount of time to complete the quiz. You must complete the quiz, in one sitting. So if you start it, you must finish it. Okay? But it's multiple choice, true, false. Okay? So what I would recommend is once you have the information fresh in your head, which means you've recently read the chapter either today or yesterday, you take your quiz. Okay, you have 2 attempts on your quiz, multiple choice, true, false kind of a thing. Eliminate the answers that are way out of the ballpark. Focus on the others, and get the quiz out of the way. Okay, once you're done with the quiz, then you can begin working on your homework. Now that is where it's going to get a little bit more complicated and time consuming, because homework problems some of them are fairly long depending on the problem. So then you begin working on your homework. The homework is not timed. You can take as long as you want. You save your work and you resume it at a later point in time. Okay? So that is my recommendation of how you work your weekly assignments. First the quiz, then the homework. But the most important thing is that you read. Now, I understand you're going to have questions. If after you read, you review the PowerPoints, you listen to my lectures, you review any resources in Cengage, you still have a question, I am available to you. Okay, that is what my job is, to help you out. Okay, I am available Monday through Friday to assist you with questions. Okay, I do not answer any correspondence received after 5 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. If you send me any information or any questions during the weekend, you're not going to get an answer till Monday or the next business day. Maybe Monday's a holiday, maybe Tuesday, or the next available business day. And by that time, it's going to be too late because the assignment already closed. Okay? And I've had students tell me, well, miss, I didn't complete my homework because I sent you a message on Saturday night and you did not answer. Well, I'm sorry I didn't answer, but I am being very clear. I only answer questions Monday through Friday. Okay? So if you have a question on Saturday, well, then you're going to be stuck solving it on your own because I'm not going to answer till Monday. Okay? So I recommend that you work your assignments during the week. That way, if you have any questions, you can get with me during the week. I can get those answered to you, and then you can move on and complete the rest of your assignments. Me not answering your emails on a weekend is not an excuse for you not to submit your homework. Okay, that's on you. Okay, so I recommend that you organize your time. I have office hours. Please refer to your syllabus for my scheduled office hours. You can drop by during my office hours. You can call, you can message, you can send me a message and say, hey, Miss, can we do like a Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting? Because, we need to discuss certain items. Sure thing, we can work something out. Something if it's your schedule and my schedule, and then we can coordinate and I can get your questions answered. Okay. If you have a question on a specific problem and you want some guidance, or you want me to look at something, or maybe you think the system made a mistake, and now that I'm speaking about the system making a mistake, the system does make mistakes. Okay, we've caught them before. The system's not perfect. Okay, so if you feel you solved the problem and it's counting it incorrect, you can send me a message and you can let me know, hey, Miss, I solved this problem. This is how I did it. This is the answer I got, but it's counting it wrong. Is that correct? And then I can look at it and say, yeah, you know what, this is a system error. Okay, or you know what, no, the system's correct. You're miscalculating it. Please go back and look at step number 2. That is being calculated incorrectly. Okay. If you have a question and you're going to send me either a Blackboard message or an email, please make sure that you include, first of all, your name. Who are you? What class are you in? I have several sections of the course, so I want to know the class, the name of the student, the class that you're in, the specific problem number that you're dealing with. Okay, don't just tell me problem 2. Okay, when I create homework, the problems get mixed up. Every student has them in different orders, so it's very difficult for me to kind of like figure out which one is problem 2. But if you tell me problem 2-9, then I know exactly which problem you're looking at. Okay, so give me the specific problem that you're working on. And I also want to see what you're doing. I want to know your attempted step-by-step solution so I can review what you're doing and provide you with guidance. Okay, I'm not going to give you the answer. Okay, I'm going to say, okay, step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, and this is what needs to happen, and then you need to figure it out. Please make sure to print your syllabus and keep it handy at all times to ensure you are aware of all of the deadlines. Okay, the syllabus clearly outlines the assignments that you're going to have every week, the chapter that we're going to cover, and the due dates. So there is no excuse for you not to know what is due. So I don't want to hear the I didn't know excuse, because that is not a valid excuse, because the information is in your syllabus and it's in Blackboard in your weekly module. Okay, I do not offer extensions or makeups unless the student has a documented valid reason. There was some kind of an emergency. Then I will work with that student one-on-one. Okay, so please make sure that you follow these guidelines when you are completing your weekly assignments. Starting next week, we are starting with chapter 2. Okay, dealing with computing wages and salaries. You will have short videos on specific problems that we are going to be, or that you have been assigned for homework. And that is what my lecture is going to revolve around: problem solving. Okay, chapter 1, no problem solving, because it's just basic terminology, laws, just general information that you need to go over to set the stage for when we actually begin working on chapter 2. Okay, so make sure that you review your syllabus to know exactly what needs to go down in week number 1. Now, I do want to jump into where is it? Over here. I do want to jump into Cengage. Okay, that way I can remind students the different resources that you have when you are completing your homework. Okay, this is a homework from chapter 2. Okay, so if you look at the homework, okay, on the top it says chapter 2B homework. Okay, so if you're gonna be sending me a message that you're working on a problem, please make sure that you list the problem. So you're going to say problem 212A. Okay, that way I know that you are working on problem 212. Okay, now if you notice, all of my problems are algorithmic, which means that the students are going to be completing problems with specific tasks, but every student will have different numbers. Okay, hopefully that will deter any cheating. But basically, students, every time that you take an attempt, students have 2 attempts, you will have different problems. Okay, now included in the problems are instructions. They have an example, and then they have the actual problem down here that you need to solve. Okay, this particular problem has the ebook. You can go to the particular area of the book that deals with this problem. It has a video. Okay, so please click on the video.
In this video, we will learn to compute a gross pay.
So you see, it's going to explain to you in the video how to complete the problem. Okay. You can print it, and then if there's any issues with the problem that you identify, you can report the issue. Okay, but the important here is you have more than enough information to help you solve this problem. Okay, read the problem carefully. Oh, now that I'm here, let me mention the rounding. Okay, please practice your rounding. Students have a lot of issues rounding. Okay, read the instructions carefully. It says here, round your overtime rate and other interim computations to 2 decimal places and use the rounded amount in subsequent computations. Round the final answer to the nearest cent. Okay. A big area where students struggle with is following instructions. Make sure that you read the problem and you read the requirements. How do they want me to round? Okay, and then you follow the instructions to round. Okay, you don't follow those instructions, you might have the right concept in place, but your calculations are going to be off because you're not following the specific requirements of how they've outlined that they want the rounding done. Okay, so this is how your homework's going to look. Some problems will have, like for example, this problem does not have a video. Okay, so for this problem, you're basically going to have to use your book. You're going to use the example provided to be able to complete it. Okay, you can always go back to the ebook. Okay, so some of the problems have the videos, others do not have the videos. Okay, this one has the video. Okay, so this one does not have the video. Okay, so there's some that do, some that don't. I will try to cover the ones that don't. Some of them, not all of them, for time limitation, but I will try to select some of the problems that don't have videos. That way you can have supplemental resources. The ones that have the videos, well, you already have a resource there that will help guide you. Okay, so make sure that you take the time to go through all of the information, the resources. You have an option down on the bottom. If you're working this problem out, you fill it in and you have a question about it, you can email me. What's going to happen when you email me, it's going to send me an email with a screenshot of what you're looking at. So that makes it just a lot more simpler for me because now I can see what you're looking at. And then from there you can, put your question of whatever is it that you have. Okay, so you have the option to email me. If you email me, I'm going to respond to that email. So make sure that email that you've set up is a valid email. Okay. You can save and exit your work. So let's say you're working on it and it's really late and you want to continue it tomorrow. You save and exit, and then tomorrow you can resume it. Okay. And then once you're done with all of your the problems, all of your homework, and you're ready to submit it, you can submit the assignment for grading. Okay. So those are basically an overview of how you're going to be looking at these problems in the future. Like I stated, chapter 1 doesn't have any problems, but chapter 2 through 6 are problem solving based. Okay, you read the content and then you apply what you've read to actual scenarios that you're going to be solving. Okay, this is one of my favorite courses. I love payroll. I love calculating different taxes, doing payroll registers, calculating taxes using different approaches. Not only because it's fun, because you know what? I work. And I like to make sure that when I get paid, I'm getting paid correctly. So I have the tendency of reviewing and making sure that my payroll or my paychecks are accurate. Okay, so this will not only serve to prepare you for if you ever go into working for human resources or getting a general idea of how payroll is calculated, but it also serves for you to start practicing and reviewing your own paychecks. Okay, a lot of times students don't even know, okay, well, how do they come up with these numbers in the deductions, for our paychecks? Where are these numbers coming from? Well, now we're going to learn where all of those numbers, all of those deductions in your paychecks are coming from and how they're calculated and how they're brought about. Okay, so that is basically it for chapter 1 lecture. Okay, like I said, next week you will start having these chapter lectures where I cover the problems. Please make sure that you read. Reading is very, very important. Read, complete all of your assignments timely. If possible, complete them during the week. That way I can be of any assistance if you need that. The assignments are open Monday through Sunday. But like I stated, if you send me correspondence on the weekend, I will not guarantee that I will respond to your emails or your messages. Okay, so if you foresee having issues with an assignment, please let me know during the week. Something very important that I almost forgot: if you don't complete your assignments on Cengage, okay, what's going to happen is you're going to complete your assignments, you're going to submit them for grading. They're due on Sunday night at 11 p.m. Okay, by the next morning, you can go back into your grade book, look at chapter 2B homework, and you're going to be able to see the answers. You're going to be able to see the correct answers. You're going to be able to see any feedback available for that specific problem, so you can review and see what you got right and what you got wrong. Okay, so before you start bombarding me with emails, hey miss, I got this wrong, just be patient. You will get the answers the following day, on Monday. Okay, on Monday morning, you'll have the answers to last week's homework. Review the work, review the feedback, and if after you review the information, the correct answers, you have questions, then you let me know. Okay, but I will not be giving you the answers. If you finish your homework on, let's say, Wednesday, and you know that you got an 82. Well, miss, why did I get an 82? Well, I'm not going to go over that with you. You need to be patient. On Monday, you'll be able to see the answers and you'll be able to see why you got an 82. And at that point, you can review and then get back with me. Okay, the answers will be available after the assignment closes. Okay, that goes for your homework, your quizzes, and your test. The assignment closes on a specific date. The day after, you will have the answers. Only the students that complete the assignments will get the answers. If you do not complete a specific problem, let's say, for example, you completed half of it, you're going to get the answers for half of it. You won't get the answers for the rest. You need to attempt all of the problems to get all of the answers. Okay? If you didn't do the assignment at all, then you're not going to have anything to study. Okay? So I recommend, advise that students take the time to do their homework. This is where you're going to get the practice. This is where you're going to be able to apply different scenarios and practice your calculations. Okay? So that was just a little reminder. So that is basically it for my chapter 1 lecture dealing with the need for payroll and personnel records. And this is the 2023 edition. Okay? I wish you all a wonderful week, and we hope to see you back here next week so we can begin covering the content from chapter 2. Okay? That would be it. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.